Welcome to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle, LaPorte County's original social media. Sound Off is a public interest forum that encourages your voice to be heard on the topics and issues impacting our local communities. We invite you to be part of the conversation by calling or texting 219-362-0522. You may also email your questions to soundoff at 967theeagle.com. This is a topic-based program, and we ask that you keep your comments brief, concise, and related to the topic being discussed. The views expressed on Sound Off are those of the hosts or callers and do not represent the opinion of 96.7 The Eagle, Spoon River Media, LLC, or the sponsors. The on-air line is now open for your calls or texts at 219-362-0522. And now, Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
And a pleasant good afternoon. Welcome to Sound Off on this Monday. Stan Maddox here. Our guest today is LaPorte County Commissioner Steve Holifield. So give us a call. Commissioner Holifield, once again, is our guest, 362-0522, or text us at that same number. So once again, our guest today on Sound Off, LaPorte County Commissioner Steve Holifield. Steve, as always, welcome to Sound Off.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate this time, and I hope people take advantage of it to ask questions.
Boy, recently, a big announcement for a company that's going to convert food waste into natural gas. $140 million investment. I guess it's going to be broken down into $70 million on the initial facility and then another $70 million on an expansion for Kingsbury Industrial Park. What are your thoughts? That's a pretty big deal, right?
It's a great start. There's going to be at least 35 jobs out there, good jobs, benefits, good pay. Matt Reardon and his team have been working on this for the last 2 or 3 years. And as I've always said, we get one started out there, and hopefully it's a domino effect and bring one after another out there.
Of course, they have to finish laying just a little bit more track, right, for the major railroads to be able to circle and go through the entire park?
Correct. It's up there at the front. Anybody familiar out there, it's around Markman Pete. They're trying to finish that, and I think they'll have it done pretty soon.
Yeah, from what Matt Reardon was telling me, CSX, they can already go in there and serve the park. They just can't do that loop yet until they get that final stretch of track laid.
Correct. This will be at the far west end. The southeast end's already done, from what I understand.
Okay, so
that should help us bring a lot of development out there.
Yeah, this company that's going to take in food waste. I guess the food waste is going to come from some of your major food manufacturers in the Chicagoland area, grocery stores, and I guess crop waste from the farmers.
That's the way I understood talking with the owners of the company after the groundbreaking. And right now it's just going to a landfill, and this way we can convert it into methane gas, which is natural gas for NIPSCO to heat homes and everything.
It's pretty amazing what they can do with food and other items nowadays.
It's amazing. And on the other end of that spectrum there, you've got there's at least 2 biodigesters out in Argust on dairy farms, which convert manure into methane gas to produce electric for their farms. And one is in Wakarusa on the Martin Dairy Farm, too.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that. I was at a function Thursday in La Crosse, and the State Department of Agriculture director was talking about, I'm trying to think what state it was in. Louisiana. That's right, Louisiana, where a dairy farm is going in. But the main product's going to be manure. Milk is going to be the byproduct.
Exactly. They're going to use that manure to create methane, and then it runs generators for produce electric.
Of course, you're a farmer. You probably think all this is pretty interesting.
It's very interesting, considering when I had all the years that I've grown up on a farm, manure was a waste product, and for the larger dairy farms, it actually became a headache for them with all the IDEM rules and regulations. And luckily, in my neighborhood, I had a couple good-sized dairy farms that'll spread their manure on my land. I got free fertilizer for it out of the years.
Oh, okay. So maybe you can find you a methane customer, maybe, huh?
Could be, hopefully.
Okay, interesting, yeah. Okay, so what else is going on with the LaPorte County Commissioners? Of course, we just talked about the plant that's going to convert food waste into natural gas. Any other big things on the horizon?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, we're just functioning every day, trying to move the county forward. Get over the 4 years of chaos and confusion we had, making a better reputation for LaPorte County.
Seems like things have calmed down a bit. There's been a couple of exchanges, but nothing nearly as large as what was happening the previous 4 years.
No, nothing like that. And as I stated when I ran, that we're not going to put up with that. If you want to have civil discussions, there's nothing wrong with that. You can agree to disagree and move on, but to have these public outbursts where people are yelling and shouting, name-calling in meetings, it's uncalled for.
All right. Well, somebody just sent us a text message. They're asking, how is the relationship between all three commissioners? Better than the past?
Better in the past. We've reached out to Joe Haney. Joe Haney talks to us at times. Still a little standoffish, in my opinion, but we're trying.
Okay. Yeah, there's been a couple of exchanges between him and Connie Grammarosa, but nothing like we had seen the previous 4 years.
No,
that's for sure, yeah.
Nothing like that. Like I said, I continue to reach out to Joe. I say hi to him. We don't agree on everything. Some things we've agreed on. Connie and I don't always agree on everything, but we have the conversations. We disagree. We move on. It's time to focus on the next topic.
All right. I know a lot of people are paying attention, including yourself, to the ongoing efforts to have some statewide property tax reductions. Still not a final product yet or a final bill. That's still, I guess you could say it's all being crafted as we speak. And I know you've raised concerns about loss of revenue locally. What do you think is going to happen here? The legislature will be wrapping things up here in about a month or so.
I spoke with Representative Pressel this weekend. Senate Bill 1 has been amended quite a bit. We're still looking to lose approximately $3 million the first year. The second and third year is still up in the air as what it's going to curtail. There's a couple of other property tax bills down there curtailing, eliminating personal property tax, which as a farmer and a business owner, personal property tax is a burden. But again, we also need to function on some type of taxes. I'm still a firm believer that shrinking government and making government more efficient is one way to help do these things.
Well, it seems like that's what they're striving for, right?
They are striving for that. You figure our government, form of government here in the state of Indiana is about 200 years old. Major topic of discussion down there is the last 2 or 3 years has been township consolidation and township reform. The last fiscal note I saw from down there last week was $688 million in township coffers across the state that is unaccounted for right now. Basically just a surplus, according to what the state says. Everyone will still have a fire department if this goes through, which this year the bill was dead. 1233 died. I spent 45 minutes with Mrs. Engelman down there, and I spent probably an hour total with 3 different members of the local government committee. No fire department would be changed. No one would lose their fire departments. They were just going to restructure how things are done to make it more efficient and more cost effective for the towns, or townships.
Okay. But like you said, that measure is dead for this year.
It died in committee, but speaking with the committee members, it's going to be resurrected next year in a different form. They're going to try until they get the proper way to do this to make everybody happy.
Okay. Of course, you're a farmer. Farmers have a lot of acreage, typically. Sounds like a win-win, perhaps, if they reduce property taxes for you.
Win-win, or we're going to have to change that from property tax assessments to another type of tax. The big one under House Bill 1641, which is the road funding bill sponsored by Representative Pressel, was going to basically tie the community crossings grant to whether or not the county puts in a wheel tax, generating about $1.8 million for LaPorte County with the wheel tax. That could be used nothing but 100% for roads. And if we did that, the council would have to do that. And then they could use that money to leverage more money for community crossings. And I believe the number was $4 to $4.5 million more for the grants, for the community crossing grant.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on that, if that were to happen?
Well, average homeowner, it's going to be another burden, 1 or 2 vehicles. But from my perspective, I own 5 trucks and 8 trailers. So it would be quite expensive. But if it gets me better roads, I'm willing to look at that. But the cost of everything is going up. And people tie inflation, and people talk about inflation. every time someone gets a raise in their business, their wages, that goes on the cost of the business, and the business passes that on. So the higher the wages, the higher the cost of production, and that goes on everything we do in roads costs money.
Okay, so we'll just have to wait and see what the final outcome is going to be. Somebody sent us a text. They're asking, do you have any small square straw bales in the shed yet? What's the price for 200 bales? They want to do some business with you on the air here, Steve.
I've got some left, but I don't have 200, I don't believe. But if you need some, you can call me.
Okay, that might be I
know that
radio
number.
question.
I know that number.
Do you know the number?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, our guest today, LaPorte County Commissioner Steve Holifield, 362-0522. Give us a call or shoot us a text. Let's take a quick commercial break.
What are you waiting for? The lines are open on Sound Off. Text or dial your questions now to 362-0522. That's 362-0522. Now, back to LaPorte County's original social media. Sound Off on 96.7, The Eagle.
And welcome back to Sound Off. Our guest again, LaPorte County Commissioner Steve Holifield. I got to ask you, this is the time of year normally, or maybe it's a little bit earlier in March. The frost law, has that been enacted at all this year?
Briefly, the signs are gone from what I've seen now. That's something the highway department keeps us informed with. We've got a great highway department. They let us know what's going on, and they can pretty much take care of things themselves.
Okay, so that's come and gone then, huh?
Basically, the signs are gone and everything.
Wow. Okay, yeah, April's here, so there's probably not a whole lot of frost left in the ground, right?
No, not with that warm rain we had 2 weeks ago.
How about roads? Of course, roads, new roads, repairing roads, that's done every summer. How many roads are going to get done this year?
I have not seen the list yet, but I think last year we did, between chip and seal and everything, we did about 100 miles, and I think we're pretty much on track to do that again this year.
Okay, yeah, people will be out driving. Don't want a bunch of roads with a bunch of potholes.
No, they want fresh roads.
All right, I was going to bring this up, but somebody did it before me on a text message. What's the latest news on the big solar projects that were to go in around Pumping Station Road? Is that project going to happen? I know they put it off for a while, right?
All the farmers were told they can farm their ground for this year. I believe they're waiting to see what happens from the D.C. area. If all the money's pulled out, it's still iffy. So, but RW did sneak their permit in, got it snuck in under the wire. The rest of them right now are still going through a permitting process, but we've not seen any come forward with any more applications.
Okay, so no more applications, and RWE, who knows? They might withdraw depending on the federal funding. Who knows?
That's a possibility. There was a bill down there where they talked about taking some of that away from the local area, and that bill died in committee also.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take a quick telephone call. You're on Sound Off with Steve Holifield.
Yes, I got a question and a comment. Number one is I wondered if they were still talking about an amino acids plant out in KOP. And the second part is we've been told ever since 1990 when they implemented the lottery, these roads we take care of. It seems like every time we turn around, we get taxed. All this money goes down to the state. They turn around and they held us hostage. We got more square miles of roads in any county in the state. And every time we turn around, the roads just keep falling apart.
Oh, I feel for you, sir. I pay the taxes too. But what do you want to do on it? You want good roads or not good roads? And the state has a formula, and it's based on the road miles in our inventory. And LaPorte County has about 1,150 miles. It's the number one in the state for road miles in the county. We're the second largest county by square miles. There's not much we can do. There's only so much money that goes around every year, and we're trying. And trust me, I've been all across northern Indiana delivering hay and straw. We have a fairly good road system here in LaPorte County compared to other counties. Yeah, as far as your question about the KOP, I didn't quite understand that one.
Yeah, he said something about amino acids.
That I'm not sure of. That's the first I'd ever heard of that.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe you can call back and clarify for us. That'd be great. 1,100 miles of roads. I'm always astounded by that figure. It's like taking a trip to the state of Texas.
Exactly.
That's a lot of road.
Well, if you think about it, though, every little small community, Hannah, Stillwell, Salem Heights, Fish Lake, all those add up real quick. And not to mention the subdivisions. We're responsible for all the subdivisions within the county, too. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you start doing circles and backups and cul-de-sacs and everything else, it's a lot.
All right, somebody's got a question. Question for Steve. Why can't we get the truck restrictions lifted off Fail Road instead of wasting billions on a bypass in the port that will keep people away from town?
I can tell you right now, Mr. Dermody and I have been talking about possible ways around that. I am still adamant that we do not need to spend hundreds of millions of dollars with new roads. We can use existing roads. It's just going to be a matter of coming to an agreement with the people that live on those roads, too, as well as the city and the county.
So what's this thing about getting the truck restrictions lifted off Fail Road? Would that be part of some sort of a bypass? Or?
It could be. The way I understand it right now, the trucks cannot use Fail Road to go north between State Road 2 and 20. That's the way I understand it. Again, I'm only three and a half months in, and we're still learning some of these things. But Mayor Dermody and I have been discussing it. Even though we pull each other's chains once in a while, we do sit down and have conversations.
Okay. More phone calls. Let's get to them. You're on Sound Off.
Yes, I'm calling back about the amino acids plant. It was probably about a year ago they said that there was a Japanese company interested in taking and investing in a parcel of leasing property out in KOP that we're going to produce amino acids out of grain, and that would tremendously help the farmers.
Okay, thank you, sir. That was a Chinese company, and they could not come to terms with the landowners out there to build the plant. And meanwhile, there was a House bill passed last year that the Chinese could not own ground in America, farmland for that, and so that kind of killed that idea.
Okay. Amino acids, how would that help the farmers?
It's a product that we put into animal feed. They were going to take and they were going to process that corn. They were going to do 90 million bushels a year of corn processing for this area, which would be a tremendous help. But it was China wanting to do it, and they would take and process that corn and make amino acids, a byproduct that they would then use for animal feed.
Oh, okay. All right, let's take another phone call. You're on Sound Off. Go ahead.
Hi, Stan, Commissioner. I calling you back about that. I wondered if you had anyone evaluate that intersection at 900 and 125 East as far as becoming a four-way stop as opposed to a two-way stop?
Yes, I did. I spoke with Charity Glazer and her crew out there on that. They went and they looked at it. Their take on it is it does not require a four-way stop. What they're going to try and do this spring when the weather warms up, they're going to try and cut back the brush to make it easier to see around those four corners and reevaluate it from there then.
Okay. Hey, somebody has I think it's an interesting question, but what is the difference between hay and straw? Or is there a difference?
There's a big difference. Hay is what the animals eat, and straw is what you use for bedding, weed control, stuff like that.
Okay, so the hay is the more tender, tasty part.
Yes, it's the product they eat.
Okay. Let's see. It was announced a few years past that a corn processing plant was going in at KOP. We just talked about that. Is the project still on? And it's not still on because you mentioned...
No, it's not. The company and the landowners could not come to terms, and then with the new state ordinance that went in that says China cannot own farmland, that kind of killed it.
All right. Somebody wants to know, you talk about inflation. So when are you guys going to give the county employees a cost of living pay increase? It's been over 2 years and nothing from you guys. A cost of living pay increase.
Hear that every day from the employees. That is a council term that they have to come with, and we need to tighten our belts because it's going to get worse, and we feel for you guys out there. You're doing a great job, but I'm not sure what we can tell you right now. That's the council has to come up with some of the money to fund it.
Okay. Has there been any serious talks?
Yes, every year there's serious talks about that. They did give them a bonus this year, but from what I've heard, a lot of them consider that a slap in the face. I will have to agree with them on that. We're going to have to come up with something because we cannot keep losing good employees to the private sector.
Somebody wants to know how will property taxes affect LaPorte schools? Property tax reform.
It will affect them as well. Contrary to popular belief, when you increase a TIF district for development, the schools do not lose any money from that TIF district. The TIF tax is an extra tax paid by the individuals in that district to help fund projects within the district. The schools, with the tax reform that are talked about downstate, it's going to affect them drastically, just like every other local form of government here.
Okay. Somebody wants to know, how do you feel about legalizing marijuana to generate taxes for the county or maybe other municipal governments?
Well, first of all, that's not a local issue. That's a state issue. Second of all, I can tell you this much. I can't hire you if you can't pass a drug test. That's a fact beyond reasonable. There's no reasonable doubt there. We cannot hire you. I cannot put you on my vehicles, my equipment, knowing you're like that. And as they've talked about downstate, until we got a way to determine how high you are, like how drunk you are, it's basically a null and void point.
So really, legalizing marijuana kind of tightens even further the workforce, the labor pool.
Exactly. Some of them seem to think that we have to hire you, and that's not the case.
All right, let's take another telephone call. You're on Sound Off. Go ahead.
Corner of.
Well, yeah, turn on your radio. You're on the air.
Hey, hi.
Hi.
I wanted to ask you, what is it going to be done about with the code officer as far as 502 Virginia and Rumley?
That's a city issue, ma'am. You're going to have to get a hold of Mayor Dermody, 363-7293.
Talk to him tomorrow.
Yeah, he's going to be on Sound Off on Friday.
Mayor Dermody will be in tomorrow morning on the Mayhem, and you can ask him then, or as Mr. Holifield mentioned, he'll be on Sound Off also coming up on Friday.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the call. Yeah, you deal with matters in the unincorporated areas.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Let's see. We got, anything else before we take another question on a text message? Anything else that you want to tell us about that might be happening here very soon?
Not really. I mean, we're trying to move ahead little by little and hopefully move the county forward and get some more jobs and creation.
You know, at the last commissioners meeting, they were talking about the head of maintenance and how that person has left, and they're coming down to trying to hire somebody to be head of county maintenance. No action was taken. I guess there was a little disagreement between Joe Haney and Connie Grammarosa. But what happened there, and is that person going to be hired maybe at the next commissioners meeting?
I haven't spoke with Commissioner Grammarosa. She's down sick, too. I missed that meeting. I know there's a lot of talk what's going on with that department. The people there that are in our department do a great job with what they can. Some things, though, I think are just, it's more than they can possibly do, and it's not their fault. So things are going to have to be looked at differently.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's take a text message question. Okay. What does Commissioner Steve Holifield always talk about when he milks his cows on his farm in Mill Creek? Utter nonsense. I guess that's the punchline.
I guess that would be a good joke.
Okay. I didn't realize that was going to be a joke, but utter punchline. You might want to remember that.
I'll remember that one of these days.
Yeah, to maybe break the ice at a commissioner's meeting that gets a little too hot and heavy. Okay, let's see. What kind of tax incentives does the bioenergy power plant at Kingsbury Industrial Park, where they offered tax incentives?
I do not know that right now. I understand they're going to be going before the council soon, so we'll have to wait and see what they look for.
Okay, that's a county council decision. Yeah.
County council decision for tax abatements.
Okay. Anyone could just go to the dog bone and come to places on the easy end of LaPorte. It would add a couple of miles driving anyone coming from the west.
I'm going to guess that's for the bypass. Mayor Dermy and I have spoke. We don't agree on a thing, but I think LaPorte is blessed with the fact that they have state highways and U.S. highways that run through this. but I can see where sometimes it might be congested downtown, and it's just a project we're going to have to work together on to come to a conclusion.
Okay, yeah, the east end of LaPorte, they said easy, but they're trying to tie the dog bone into the east side in the bypass. Yeah,
that's what it sounds like.
So what is the end result? Any predictions on this bypass issue? What's going to happen?
I've seen a lot of different ideas and a lot of talk, and until we can come to an agreement between makes everybody happy, I look for it. I don't believe I'll be in office. I don't think Mr. Dermody will be in office. And when this comes to a conclusion, because it's been going on since the 1960s with the Boyd Boulevard bypass.
Yeah, been a long time. I know the Mayor Dermody is wanting a quick answer and get a quick solution in there as fast as possible. So
that's always been Tom's idea. I want it to happen right now.
Yesterday. He wants it to happen. Exactly. He wants it to happen yesterday,
exactly.
Right?
Exactly. That's just Tom's nature.
All right. Let's take another phone call. You're on Sound Off. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I'm just a bottom line kind of guy. I'm hearing a lot of kicking around about taxes being deducted and getting rid of certain taxes. And then the mayor of Michigan City is talking about maybe we don't pay a garbage tax and we need to do that. And I'm wondering, should LaPorte County be worried and wondering, I mean, what's the bottom line? Should we be expecting more payout for taxes and such in the overall lookout?
Currently, right now, your tax bills are going to be processed and sent out probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks for your property tax bills. The current legislation downstate right now will not take effect until the 26 assessments. So for your tax bills in 25 payable 26. It's all up in the air right now. I'm hoping we can cut some expenses somehow. But like I said, everything goes up every single year. The cost of everything goes up.
All right, let's take another phone call. Thanks very much for that call. You're on. Go ahead.
Is that me?
That's you.
Hey, good morning, good morning. For Mr. Holifield, a couple of years back, the governors bragged about the billions of surplus that Indiana had, and now all of a sudden Indiana's broke and they want to toll all of our highways and our interstates. What happened to the surplus that they bragged they had? Billions of it. And now we're in a pinch. You want to raise taxes. You want to make our highways and byways toll roads. What are you guys doing with the surplus that you bragged you had, and now it's gone? Nobody has accounted for it. Nobody has explained why it was there. Now it's not. If you had billions in reserve, why are you wanting to make toll roads out of our highways? Doesn't make sense to me. We're not billionaires here. We're just common, everyday people.
I'll have to agree with you, sir, but that is not an issue for the local residents to take up. That is your state. And, again, everything costs more money. And the surplus, there was $6 billion in that surplus. And when COVID hit, they used a lot of that to make sure they didn't have to go and increase taxes to cover a lot of expenses that were incurred during that time. And $6 billion, they also, if you remember right, a few years ago, you got a $250 rebate on that. And $6 billion is only approximately 33 to 34 days worth of operating expenses for the state of Indiana. So $6 billion may sound like a lot, but in the scope of things, it's not really that much. And I understand. I don't like the idea of toll roads either.
Okay, yeah, you're a county commissioner. You don't make the laws downstate.
Correct.
If they would go to toll roads on, say, I-94, maybe even one of the state roads around here, how would you feel about that?
Well, it'd be another case where I need to look at whether I use them or not. I don't drive on 994. I-70 is one that's been talked about. I don't use I-70 either, but if you're a businessman and you have to pay an extra toll, that's just an expense. It's going to be tacked on the cost of your product.
And that's the consumer will be paying for that.
The consumer will be paying for it.
And the consumer will be paying for the tolls and everything else that filters down.
Correct.
So there's more. I guess there's more people taking part in taxation and not so much on the big guys.
Yep, and there's talk down the southern part of the county with this US 30 proposal coming up. I've been watching that very closely. They're not talking about toll roads for down there, but they're talking about a major renovation from US 31 all the way to Maryville. and making that limited access. And right now the sticking point is the town of Wanata, because if they try to stop those roads going in and out of Wanata, it'll basically kill that town. So that's a lot of talk going on there right now.
Okay, yeah. When are they supposed to make a decision on that? I think it's, in a couple of years? That's the goal, right?
It's not on plan for the 2030 project. I think Mr. Pressel said that it'll probably be on the books for the 2030 to 35 plan. So, again, he also told us that none of us will be in office when that goes through. It's just, you know how the government wheels turn.
Yeah. Okay. All right, tell you what, let's take a quick commercial break. Stay with us here on Sound Off.
Thank you for tuning in to Sound Off. You can now text or email your questions directly to the studio. Call or text 362-0522 or email your questions to soundoff@967theeagle.com. This is Sound Off.
And welcome back to Sound Off. Our guest, Commissioner Steve Holifield. Let's take some more calls. You're on Sound Off. Go ahead.
Hi, Steve. This is Vern.
Hi, Vern.
I was just going to call and talk to you about the repaving they did on 925 last year.
Okay.
They didn't put anything back against the edge of the road, close to the driveways, mailboxes. But I noticed beside my driveway where the garbage truck's coming in, it's starting to crack the pavement off pretty bad, and I've noticed it in other areas down the road.
Okay.
So that might be something they need to look at before the road's not even a year old yet.
Yeah, I'll bring it up to charity.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Vern.
Okay, let's take another phone call. You're on. Go ahead.
Yes. Can you tell me who to contact when you see property in the county that is just full of junk and down trees and just, terrible waste in their yards and that? Who do you contact to get something like that cleaned up?
Two options would be Mike Poland at the Building Commission or Amanda Lehner at the Health Department, depending on how bad the issue is.
Okay. Are we going to see a county-wide code enforcement ordinance anytime soon, do you think?
Boy, that's a can of worms to open up. I myself personally think there's other issues we have ordinances on the books to take care of that, because you know how the government functions. If you create another department, you're going to create another level of bureaucracy and overhead that's going to be a cost burden. So right now, I'm not open to looking at that. I think we need to really exercise the ordinances we have on the books.
Okay, so what's on the books now that the building code guy can get out and enforce?
Well, it becomes a health issue. If you have rodents and trash and garbage around there with rodents, that becomes a health and safety issue, and the health department, I think, can issue fines. I believe. I'm not certain on that, but I think they can.
Okay. Somebody says they saw St. Joseph County pass an ordinance about UTVs on county roads where they're allowed. Any chance the port can get on board?
I thought we already had that, but maybe that only covers golf carts.
Okay. Commissioner Holifield, I hope you take into account that county residents do not want the bypass on Fayette Road, as Mr. Dermody wants to turn his state road through LaPorte into 2 lanes. Any thoughts on that?
I understand where you're coming from. And again, this will be a topic that'll have many public comment meetings and everything else, and we have to listen to the people, because that's why I'm adamantly against a new road cutting through the farmland. So it will be open for public discussion multiple times.
Okay, this listener says Fayette Road is not built for truck traffic. It would have to be rebuilt to sustain loaded truck traffic.
That's another topic that I've heard before. I'm not sure I'm not sure how they build roads and what it would require to do that. Plus, you've also got multiple homes that are very close to the edge of that road, and you've got at least one subdivision up there. I believe it's Shamar Hills. So it's just another option we have to look at.
Okay. This person says, if you need a bypass for LaPorte around the east side, don't use Fayette Road. Use existing State Road 2 to US 20 at the Dog Bone.
That's another good option there, too. All options are being looked at right now, and it's just a simple matter of the north-south isn't really the big question right now, in my opinion. It's the east-west traffic, how we get them from the Westville area over to the Rolling Prairie South Bend area.
Okay, let's take a phone call. You're on Sound Off. Go ahead.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Stan. This is Bill. I think things are working pretty good, and at least they're not asking Commissioner Holifield to be a miracle worker in his first 4 days on the job, whatever. I know it's longer than that now. But I think the program's pretty good right now. You let the city boys take care of the city, which I'm observing, and now we got a county guy in there, pretty good county guy, 2 guys. Let them take care of the country, okay? And I know that might butt heads a little bit, but pretty good system going right now, I think. Congratulations, Steve.
All right, thank you.
Good work.
Thanks.
All right.
On that end of it, you can close the blinders off, and the cities and the counties can ignore each other and go in their own separate ways. But overall, I think the best approach is for the counties and cities to work together, come to a conclusion, may not agree on everything. I was honored that the city's doing their master plan, their comprehensive plan, and I was asked to sit on that board to offer suggestions from the county. I'm looking forward to working with them on that. And the county is also working on our comprehensive plan. But I still feel the better thing is that if the communities work together and help each other out, because the city might not be able to do everything and the county might not be able to do everything, but together we can do things to help bring up the standard of living for the whole county, because what's good for the city also helps the county in the same aspect.
All right. Any update on the crows?
We are looking at ordering something to try. It's on Amazon. It's on back order. So we're doing what we can with that.
What's been ordered?
It's going to be something of a device to ultrasonic sound, I guess. That worked several years ago, and the machine we have broke down. As everything that's built cheap like that is like that, and it's not going to cost us a fortune to try it and see what happens.
Okay, so when any idea when it's going to be used for the first time?
No, I do not, because we'll have to get it installed, then we'll have to turn it on and see what happens.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that'll be interesting. We'll have to have a groundbreaking or something for the ultrasound device. Well, Steve, any final thoughts? We got to go.
Nope, just hoping to move the county forward and bring some houses here and some jobs for the people.
All right. Thanks a lot, Steve. Appreciate it. Look forward to your next visit. That'll do it for Sound Off. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you Friday. I think Mayor Dermody is going to be our guest. Our guest Friday will be Mayor Dermody. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us and voicing your opinion on this edition of Sound Off.
Okay.
The views expressed on Sound Off are those of the host or callers and do not represent the opinion of 96.7 The Eagle, Spoon River Media, LLC, or the sponsors. Sound Off airs live every Monday and Friday, immediately following Update 12 News, and is available online after the show is over under the podcast menu at hometownnewsnow.com. Mark your calendar and join us again for the next edition of Sound Off, right here on 96.7 The Eagle.